So Paulo Media Group has an offer on their network. It's a pay-per-call offer for fire damage and actually fire damage and water damage repair. Pays up to $72 per qualified call, which is really decent actually. I haven't seen one pay out this high before, so this is great. We're looking for calls that exceed 90 seconds or more. Obviously, you want very long durations. That means it's a good qualified call, but this offer pays out on 90 seconds or more duration. So we're going to start our keyword research inside Spyfu. Spyfu is great for search campaigns, so Google click-to-call, Google search traffic. And what you'll discover really soon is that maybe click-to-call isn't the best way to go with this particular offer, because I've already been through the research. That way we can move fast in this video. And so yeah, I learned some really interesting things that you're gonna find cool. So if you want to run this, this will definitely be helpful for you. If you already run this, this may be helpful for you. If you're looking for a new offer to scale your existing campaigns, then this could definitely help you out. But anyway, also if you want to kind of get familiar with the spy tools, this is also a good video for that. So let's jump into it. The very first thing I want to do is I want to find a seed keyword. And since fire damage is the keyword of the day, I use ubersuggest.io to kind of help give me some ideas. And what you can do is you can see real quick, if I really wanted to, I can jump in here and I could just type in fire damage. But that'll limit us to it'll limit us to just fire damage related keyword phrases, which means maybe the water and the mold and all the other stuff that kind of comes along with this will be left out. With that being said, though, having a themed campaign such as fire damage restoration and water damage restoration and maybe even mold. There's a mold offer now on Paulo, and a little hint to clue you in. There's some decent volume on the mold side of things too. But with that being said, which we'll see right here, check this out. With that being said, keeping kind of clean, congruent, themed campaigns is not a bad idea at all. So anyway, I picked this. I picked out a couple of these items here. These keywords, and popped them into my my competitive keyword research kind of tool that I use to keep focused. This keeps me off the shiny objects and jumping around. So what you have here is I initially start with my brainstorm seed keywords in this section, and then I plug them into my phone, which I don't have here, but oh yeah, I do. I have it right here. And then I take and I look for competitors in mobile search, because that's kind of who we're targeting, right? And I'm looking for guys that are performance-based marketers, and then I plug them into Spyfu, and then I harvest their keywords, things that kind of make the most sense, and then I run those keywords through an Excel spread. Well, you get an Excel spreadsheet, but I filter through those keywords and find the ones that are the most affordable, and then I go test those. Not to give away too many performance-based marketers, in their campaigns here. I don't want to do that. So with that being said, I'm going to focus more on brand, so the nationwide brands, the big boys. I don't really care about divulging their stuff because, well, they can afford it. They're the ones that drive all the prices up. So I'm not too worried about it. So what I've gone and done is I've gone and I've picked out a keyword to share with you that will put you on the right path in terms of congruency and intent, and then allow you to kind of further go down the research rabbit hole and find more information. And that way you can run a campaign like you would run. So out of all of these keywords, and these are all decent keywords, the one that I picked was this fire restoration services keyword. And you can see it's kind of already, it's in the ready for a campaign board right here, or card, so I can essentially get started. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of show you some notes on some things that I discovered inside the mobile search, and a couple of things popped out for this particular keyword. I used how Google automatically fills in your search query for you as you're typing. Well, one thing I noticed was firearm restoration services came up. And if you looked at the results, and I don't have the results in front of me, I'm sorry, But if you look at the results on your mobile phone for firearm restoration services, you're going to see the top 3 spots are filled by fire restoration services in terms of key, and it's all search. I'm sorry, it's all click to call. So high intent click to call ads in there. So one thing you could probably test, but I wouldn't test this on Paulo without an IVR in front of it, which is basically a key press 1 if you want to go here, key press 2 if you want to go here, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to send the call center a bunch of firearm related calls, right? Bad idea. However, you could test this keyword phrase, and you probably get shitty quality scores because of it. But if you can get the pricing right, and you're only paying $3 to $6 or $7 per call, then you can probably afford to send enough calls, and there's going to be enough qualified calls in there that it'll back out. You just don't want to get a quality score of like a 1 or a 2. A 3 is very borderline. So you got to hope that the click-through rate is as high as possible in order to kind of offset this broad-based, like congruent but not really hitting the point approach. But I wanted to share that with you because I thought that was kind of interesting. Also, it looks like from an organic search results perspective, you could research servpro.com. They seem to dominate the paid search and the organic search side of things for this particular keyword phrase. So if you want to kind of look at them a little bit closer, they would be a good company to target. But what really got me going here was not so much homeservicequotesnow.com, but rainbowinternationals.com. They have a really decent landing page. I got it right here. This is essentially a responsive landing page, and I wonder if I click here if it actually, yeah. So you can see, like, this is what it looks like on my phone. I don't know what it looks like on your phone, but you can see up at the top, the big boys are all, like, across most of these fire damage repair, water damage repair keywords. Everybody's running a landing page. Okay, so this is what a good landing page looks like right here. For this particular vertical, this probably is what's working. So if you're running this particular kind of product or service, or this is the offer you'd like to run, my recommendation, and this is another thing that I looked at and noticed too, is that, and I probably have this keyword information in here. I don't want to jump around. Well, let's cover this first. I don't want to jump around. I do that a lot. But yeah, you can see they got a big call to action up here at the top. Really good branding. Branding is important. You got to make sure that you look reputable, right? The Rainbow International Restoration. So you can see there's restoration in there. You're going to find like keywords like Service Pro, Serve Pro, things like that. And the websites are specifically tailored to restoration services. So that's something to note. But you can see I got some quotes here, or some testimonials and some bullet points. So my guess is people are reading all of this, and they're making an informed decision. So this isn't an emergency plumber kind of thing. This is more like, okay, I know I need some stuff. Well, I know I just said that emergency services thing, but then here they have this emergency services thing. I think bottom line is people are going to research. With this particular with this particular offer, you can do direct response with a call. You can also, I think, fill out a form maybe. So yeah, they're going to send you through this calculator. So this is 93955. It's like my neighborhood. Yeah, so we can do the same thing with this. You see how they bring you to this form? So you can also run the same thing with Paulo Media Group using the leads to call program that we have going on over there. So it's really cool. It's getting better and better now. So like we can actually provide you the form now that you can put on your landing page, and you can do the exact same thing. You can have this little micro commitment form that you can fill out with Formidable Forms. It's just a WordPress plugin. You plug that in, and then all of a sudden it takes you to the leads to call form. So you could run this. You can run this, and then that will drip out SMS text messages to this lead and engage them in a conversation. And it's a combination of AI and human interaction, and it works really well in converting. So if somebody's actually interested in your service, they've visited your webpage, and they enter their zip code, and then they fill out the form, then the drip system will follow back up with them and then get them on the phone and connect them to the call center, and then you'll have congruent traffic calling the call center, and the call center will be super happy. You'll be getting paid $72 per lead, and you could basically do the same thing right here. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys in terms of the landing page and strategy. This is what Rainbow International is doing, and you could copy the same thing. You obviously don't want to like copy their website like verbatim, but you want to use it as inspiration, right? You can come up with your own brand, and instead of being the restoration service, you can be the restoration connector. You connect people to the restoration service. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of fun. So anyway, I took Rainbow International and I plugged them into Spyfu, and I've been doing a little research here. So where are we? So I took these guys. I really like their landing page. I really like what they're doing. I like the form idea. And then I started digging in. So the first thing I did was I entered my keyword or domain in this case, and then I exported the keywords. But let's just jump around a little bit. Let's just kind of look at what's going on here. So Rainbow Internationals, they've done really well with their organic SEO. They're rocking that, and they're also paying for a ton of different keywords. And it's a very competitive space. The cost per clicks are extremely expensive here. However, I want to show you kind of a strategy for finding cheaper keywords. You got to imagine you're paying, the payout on something like this is $72. You can get a little more specific in your targeting. You don't necessarily need to go super broad and just arbitrage your way to profitability here, which means send as many calls as you can and hope that 1 or 2 out of 100 convert. And I'm saying like send as many cheap calls as you can that are broad traffic. This case, you can probably get away with finding keywords that serve up a lot of traffic, and you could probably bid. You spend on what you can afford to bid on. So if you bid on this keyword and your top bid is $10, you'll probably get a little bit of traffic. And if it's converting, it'll give you an opportunity to increase the budget and work on your ads, and maybe get into a more competitive space here. But what I'd like to do is, like if I'm in a pinch, I'm in a rush, I'll go grab all of their paid keywords. I'll just come over here, I'll export them, and then you'll end up with a list like this. And so that's what I did. And I created a filter. So I went ahead and I went across here like this, and then I added a filter, and that gave me kind of a filter across the header. And then what I wanted to do is, because this traffic is pretty expensive, so like if I clear this filter out, and I can just sort this by like biggest to smallest, you're gonna see that there's from a broad cost per click perspective, there is some expensive traffic in here, so obviously I'm going to stay away from this, and any performance-based kind of affiliate marketer is going to want to stay away from that. If I were to test this, and I may go in and start testing this, but if I were to test this, I would make sure that I would start testing keywords that are less than $10. And then I would start to go through this list and start pulling out anything that doesn't make any sense, and I think it makes a lot more sense to be congruent in the campaign. So you got mold remediation, you got local restoration can be restoration companies could be its own campaign. Mold is big. I would say like here's what I would probably do. And actually I guess I could filter that here. Is I would come in here and I would change that, and then I would just go contains like the word fire, right? And I would just build out a fire campaign. Boom. And you could probably set up a campaign really quick with just a handful of keywords like this, and then go through and set up another campaign real quick that's got mold in it, and then set up another campaign. The thing is, you can just do anything you want. But these are the keywords that are going to be a little more affordable for you, and then you can test multiple campaigns at the same time and just see what angles work. Now you got to kind of plan it out a little bit more. That means you're going to have to come up with landing pages that are congruent with each one of these particular verticals, but it's probably the responsible way to go in terms of like trying to figure out what works, or just focus on one specific area and then just keep adding more keywords that are related to it, and just see what traffic serves up. It gets served up by Google. So anyway, that I kind of wanted to see that. I wanted to jump into ads, right? So we have kind of like the keywords we could test, and then we have kind of like the web page that you could use, the kind of landing page that seems to be working, right? And and this is like this is search, right? So people are I have no idea where Rainbow International is doing any other marketing. I guess I could go look, but in this case, it's like people are doing some searches. They're bidding up at the top. They're sending people to this page. I don't know if they're pixeling them and then firing back remarketing ads or not. I guess I won't find out until like in the next few days. But this is, I would say this is kind of a little more high intent. So yeah, maybe it is up there by the emergency, maybe it's up there in the emergency plumber kind of intent area where people need to get on the phone, but it's clear that people need to go to a landing page first. Just from my research in the mobile, I could see that there's the stuff that floats to the top in the search results for paid traffic are landing pages. So I would definitely go that route. And I would set up a page like this. With respect to ads, you can come back in here, and there's another thing too. So we're looking at these ads. You look at the ad timeline. You can see like this Rainbow's been running like this one off and on quite a bit. They've been running this one quite a bit. We can look at ad history. You can get a feel for what they're running in terms of ads. Fire and smoke damage cleanup, which obviously fits the bill, so they may be doing dynamic keyword insertion, or you could, because the keyword is matching the headline. Call or request a quote online. So you can see that they're giving options. They're pre-qualifying the lead inside the ad already. And then you could probably use a lot of this too. If there's anything in here that seems questionable, you can always reach out to your affiliate manager on Apollo, and they can clear this up for you. But this is really good information. So you could run ads similar to this. You could run a landing page similar to this, and you could run keywords that are filtered off of based off of like your keyword research, and you can just kind of give it a test. So anyway, that was kind of like my Spyfu overview. Hopefully it makes sense. Definitely run the cheapest keywords you can afford. Don't go broke trying to bid on $25 keywords for a $72 offer. It's a bad idea. I used to do that, but then I realized there's cheaper traffic out there. We've looked at the ads. We've looked at a landing page that seems pretty legit. The strategy is, if you're going to run paid search, you're going to likely do better and save money in the long run if you make out a landing page and you run them to a landing page. Not as quick and easy and not as successful as most click-to-call campaigns, but believe it or not, the hard path is the way here. You can just see what the algorithm is doing, and you can see that it's serving up more landing pages in this case. And that tells me that you should probably make Google happy by running landing pages to this ad. I noticed all the call offers or the call ads are down at the bottom, so you got to pay a ton to get up at the top. And it's probably gonna be cheaper if you just run a landing page, and your quality scores will be better too. Great. So anyway, if you want to apply to this offer, you can go to paulomediagroup.com/Gene, and that's going to be the application for Paulo. And if you're already a Paulo Media Group publisher, then you can just log in and go apply, and your respected account manager will go ahead and take care of you. The next video I'm going to do is ad beat. And we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to look at kind of like the native side and maybe more display, so we can get some ideas there. Okay, so thanks for watching, and take care.